Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Today we shall be looking at a very crucial topic in trigonometry, which is sine rule. Sine rule is an aspect of trigonometry that is being applied to triangles other than right-angled triangle. Recall that if we are talking about right-angled triangle and you're asked to find a certain side of it or an angle, we apply either Pythagoras theorem or we make use of the aspect of SOHCAHTOA that can help us to either determine the side or the angle given in such a triangle. But when you have a triangle of this form, this is not a right angle triangle because it does not contain a right angle. In this instance, that's when we talk about either the sine rule or the cosine rule. But in this particular session, we are to be discussing on sine rule. I'll be giving you the formulas as you can see on the board and the conditions for which you can use sine rule. As you can see, the triangle ABC written clearly on the board. Capital letters are used to identify the angles in that particular triangle. It must not always be A, B, and C. It could be X, Y, and Z, or any other letters. But the capital letters are used to identify the angles, while the small letters are used to identify the sides of that particular triangle. As you can see from this particular one, angle A, the opposite of angle A is small letter A. The opposite of angle B is small letter B. The opposite of angle C is small letter C. That is exactly how it's been identified in sine or cosine rule. And here we have the formula for sine rule. The way we do this is to find the ratio of the angle with respect to the side. Sine A over small letter a. Sine A over small letter a is equal to sine B over small letter b. Sine C over small letter c. And that is exactly how we arrange it. You can put it in reverse, all still the same. All right, so these are the formulas for calculating sine rule. So we can use it to apply to this particular question that we have on the board. And what are the conditions for which we can make use of sine rule? The conditions for using sine rule, one of them is captured in this particular question. That is to say, two sides of the triangle must be given and one angle corresponding to one of the given sides. Once two sides are given in that particular triangle and an angle is given which corresponds to the given side, then we can make use of sine rule. Otherwise, we'll be talking about cosine rule. But in this instance now, we're making use of what? Sine rule. Another condition for which we can use sine rule is the situation whereby you have two angles given in that particular question and any of the sides given. Any of the sides given. Take for example, you are being given this place as 40 degree. That is to say, we can easily find this one, provided one side is given. So the goal here is for us to have one particular side given complete. As you can see from our question here, C is given complete because angle C has a corresponding side 4 given and one other side provided in that particular triangle. So in this instance, we are to make use of sine rule. Now let's get started to solving this particular example that we have on the board. Now to solve this particular question, this is an example of a question that applies to sine rule. As you can see, C is given complete as I said earlier. Then B is partially given complete, whereby the side of B is given, but we can determine the angle B. By the time we are done getting angle B, then we now have two angles inside a triangle. Then we can determine the other unknown angle. Then from there, calculation of the side of the triangle given can be determined. So now, how do we tackle this particular question? What we have to do is to apply sine rule. So the comparison we are going to take here is the ratio of the ones that are given, whereby only one particular part of it is to be determined. As you can see, C is given complete, then B, the side is given, we can determine the angle, and from there we'll be able to get to the destination of finding letter A. Because the question says solve the triangle completely, that is to say, solve everything about this triangle, whether the side or the angle, as the case may be. Now let's get started. So we are to compare the ratio of B and the ratio of C, since we are looking for angle B first. So that is to now say we have it as sine B ratio small letter b is equal to, then we're comparing it with that of a C, sine C ratio, that is all over small letter c. Those are the comparisons we are going to make here. Now we are not to identify that of A because we do not have any information here to be able to find either small letter A or big letter A, as the case may be. Now looking at this, let's now apply some of the values that are being given in place of those alphabets given. Sine B, nothing is given in B, we are looking for it, so we write, still repeat, sine B. Small letter b, that is the side opposite the angle B, which is 6. Sine C is given to us as 30, sine 30 degree. Then all over small letter c, which is the side opposite angle C, which is what? 4. And from here, we are to cross multiply. Cross multiplication is to be applied here. So when we cross multiplied, we have it as 4 sine B is equal to 6 multiplied by sine 30. 6 multiplied by sine 30. All right, so what's the next step to take? Because our destination is to get B. All right, so to do that, we divide both sides by the coefficients of sine B. That becomes sine B is equal to 6 multiplied by sine 30 is, of course, 0.5. If you point your calculator, you get that. All over 4, as we have it here. Now, to go further, what we have to do is to multiply out and get the result of sine B. So that becomes sine B is equal to, that 6 multiplies 0.5 will give us 3. Then 3 divided by 4, that will give us 0.75. Then to achieve this, we have to now find the sine inverse. That is a sine inverse of 0.75. I hope you know how to punch this in your calculator. You press shift in your calculator, that's second function, then press sine, then you press on punch of this particular number in your calculator, then you'll be able to get the result that I'm going to get now. Then B, to the nearest degree, we give us 49. To the nearest degree, we give us 49 degree. That is to the nearest degree. Now we have found angle B to be 49 degree. Wow. Now we are now approaching the end of this particular question. All right, so now that we have 49, we have 30, we can actually get the angle A. That's sum of angles in a triangle, of which we know it to be 180 degrees. Sum of the interior angles of any triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So from there, I can say that A plus B, angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees. We know the reason. That is sum of the interior angles of any triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So A is what we are looking for. A will now be, that's A plus. B, we have it as 49 degree plus C, which is 30 degree, is equal to 180. When we combine 49 and 30, that will give us 79. Therefore, A is equal to 180 minus 79. That gives us A as 101 degree. This is for A. We've gotten that of B. All right, so you can see this place is 101 degree. All right, so what is now remaining for us to find in this part of a triangle is a small letter A. To find small letter A, we can make comparison of either C versus A, because C is given complete, or we go with B, which is complete also, versus A, which is partially given complete, whereby we have the angle, we can find the side. So to make such a comparison, I can simply say sine A over small letter A is equal to sine B over small letter b. Applying this in our solving, that will now be sine A is 101 degree. Small letter A, that's exactly what we're looking for to complete the triangle. Sine B, we already have B as 49 degree. Small letter b, we already know it as 6. So we cross multiply. When we cross multiply, it is now going to be A sine 49, A sine 49 is equal to, that is sine 101 degree multiplied by 6. That is exactly what we are to have there. Then finally, divide both sides by the coefficients of A. The coefficients of A becomes sine 101. Sine 101 is, that would be 0.9816. 0.9816. Then multiplied by 6 all over. That will be 0. That's sine 49 now. 0.7547. That's the value of that. All right, so finally, we can determine the value of small letter a. And when you punch your calculator, 0.9816 multiplied by 6 divided by 0.7547, that will give us 7.8 centimeter. And that will now signal finding all the sides and all the angles that has to do with this triangle. And that is what we mean by solving the triangle completely. And this is a perfect example of sine rule. Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button, as I will be giving you some examples on cosine rule for us to see the difference between the two. Students get confused when it comes to sine rule and cosine rule. They don't know how to draw distinction between the two of them. But I'll be showing you in our next video. Please don't forget to share the video, like the video, and also click on the subscribe button to support this particular channel. Do have a lovely day. See you in our next video.